It's the 9th of July, 2012. This is Capital FM Online TV News. In the headlines, ICC sets April 10th and 11th for the Kenya cases. IEBC retains 80 new constituency boundaries. Post-mortem shows USIU student was strangled to death. U.S. Embassy issues countrywide travel advisory for Kenya. And police crackdown nets 133 foreigners. Good evening, I'm Victoria Rubediri. Cases against the 4 Kenyans facing crimes against humanity charges at the International Criminal Court are set to kick off on April 10th and 11th next year at The Hague. The ICC trial chamber delivered the decision on Monday evening, saying the case against William Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang will kick off on April 10th, while the case against Uhuru Kenyatta and Francis Muthaura will commence the following day. All parties in the case had appeared before the ICC in June for the status conferences. The High Court has retained 80 new constituency boundaries, offering a sigh of relief to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission after a legal challenge by various groups. In a landmark ruling on Monday, a 5-judge constitutional bench, however, ordered the merger of 7 electoral wards and the revision of some ward boundaries. Justices Mohamed Warsame, Ruth Sitati, Pauline Nyamweya, Helen Omondi, and David Majanja delivered the 7-hour ruling at the Milimani Commercial Courts on Monday afternoon. Duji's constituency boundaries have been retained as gazetted by the IEBC, but it has been renamed to Garissa Township. Also renamed is Gwasi constituency, which will now bear the name Suba constituency. A post-mortem report has found that a university student whose body was found in a coffee plantation after a kidnap ordeal was strangled to death. A pathologist who examined the body of the late Sarah Arua says there were visible strangulation marks on her neck. The autopsy was conducted on Monday at the city mortuary before the woman's remains were removed to the Lee Funeral Home. The city mortuary register shows the body was taken there by police on July 1st after it was discovered in a coffee plantation within Kiambu County. The international relations student at USIU was reportedly kidnapped by people believed to be her fellow students and close friends, who went ahead to demand a 100,000 shilling ransom from her parents using her own mobile phone. The U.S. Embassy in Nairobi has issued yet another travel advisory to its citizens, warning them to be cautious in Kenya due to heightened terror threats. This time around, the advisory is not specific of any particular town, instead warning Americans considering traveling to Kenya to be aware of the risks involved. The alert sent to Americans directly urges them to evaluate their personal security situation in light of continuing and recently heightened threats from terrorism and the high rate of violent crimes in some areas. It says the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi has limited U.S. official government travel to Kenya until the security situation improved, and will continue to monitor the security situation and provide updates.
Hello?
And finally, a Briton and 2 Pakistanis are among 133 foreigners who were arrested on Sunday night for allegedly being in the country illegally. 81 Somalis, 47 Ethiopians, and 2 Sudanese nationals were also picked up from various estates in a security operation mainly targeting foreigners staying in the country illegally. Nairobi Police Chief Anthony Kibuchi says Operation Fagia Wageni was targeting those who do not have valid papers. Most of the suspects were arrested in Eastleigh, South Sea, Pangani, and estates in Eastlands. And that does it for our top stories of the day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Victoria Rubediri.